coming up right now, we have the CEO of American Pacific Mining Co. Guys, take a look at this chart. This stock was hanging out right here for a long time, and we've just absolutely broken out, up another 17% today. We love to bring you high flyers. So without further ado, going to go ahead and bring on my man, Warwick Smiths. Warwick, how you doing on this beautiful Thursday?
Hey man, I don't think you could have given me a better introduction, so thank you very much.
We try. We like to keep the energy flowing on the power hour. There too much financial content out there is dry and boring. We do not strive to be that here at Benzinga. We strive to be different. So Warwick, off the bat, we're looking at the chart up 16.7% right now. What's driving that stock movement?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think if today we had a significant acquisition that we announced. Let me step back and talk chart for 2 seconds, if you like. If you look, as you pointed out, there was a long base period there. During that time, we knew we had great assets. We feel we have a very, very good team, but stock dynamics had played into it at that point, where we'd had a financing that came free trading. We had bought an asset for shares; they came free trading. So we got this long base. At where you can see there at the end of May, we brought in a new strategic investor named Michael Gentili, who's been incredibly helpful for the company, has opened a lot of doors, and the company's starting to execute and bring in and closing on new transactions. So that's where you see that sort of, the longer the base, the higher the space. We've got that opportunity now to really, move forward, being well capitalized and having some great assets.
Warwick, you know your way around a chart, don't you? The bigger the base, the bigger the space.
You know what? It's not totally my forte, but I know, I suppose, enough to be dangerous.
Enough to be dangerous. Yeah, we actually have a show following this called Get Technical, where we talk all about technical indicators, and that's one of our things that we talk about a lot. That, hey, look, the longer the base is, the longer there's this like space of consolidation, the bigger the run up will be. So we definitely see that here. And you mentioned Gentile. He came on as an advisor, but he's also a big stock holder, correct?
Yeah, so Michael came in as a 19.9% shareholder, real gentleman, great guy to work with, has done a lot of introductions for the company, put us in front of some really, really smart money who understands the space, understands the projects incredibly well. And you see that in the chart. And that's been obviously a godsend for us. The company is now well capitalized. We've got 4 assets in the Western U.S. One partnered with Rio Tinto, which is the second largest mining company in the world. They're exploring for us down in Montana, and then 3 assets down in Nevada. We focus on high grade assets in the Western U.S., primarily gold and silver, although the asset in Montana is gold copper. As I say, we made an announcement aftermarket last night about picking up we owned some ground down here and picked some ground up to the north of it. That's incredibly high grade that we're very excited to get out and drill. And that certainly captured the market's attention today. Yeah,
essentially doubling the amount of land that you have in, where is this again? Somewhere in...
Yeah, it's called Elko, Nevada. So very much a mining centric town. Newmont has one of their main offices there. Actually, my business partner was the head of exploration in the Western U.S. for Newmont. So it was his job to go out and find these assets that Newmont would look to buy. They're looking for stuff that's 3 million ounces of gold plus to begin with. So we had these opportunities to see a lot of assets that are a bit smaller but can grow. And that's really our sweet spot. We go in and pick those up. We see them grow. And with that, you see the company grow. So that's really where our strategic advantage is his knowledge of the Western U.S. And that's worked really well for us.
Yeah, I mean, so Warwick, just one of the things for investors, I guess, maybe that are considering buying different, mining companies or junior miners, is that you're buying into some of the risk that you're buying into is saying like, okay, will there be gold and silver founder as much as they hope there will be in this land? Why do you think that right now is kind of a time that investors can invest in American Pacific and be confident that, hey, look, this land that, these announcements will pan out and will end up being a good investment?
Yeah, great question. In particular for sort of a US based trading audience that maybe isn't mining focused. There's specific things that if you're looking at this space in the exploration space, which is inherently risky, that you should look for. And I'll throw a few of those out. American Pacific has these, but just in general, look for companies that already have a major involved. Quite often, when you're exploring, you're going to look to build it up and you're going to look to sell it to a major. The majors won't put in money unless they feel that they A, can find it, and B, can build it. They de-risk it for you significantly. We have that in the case of Rio Tinto. They may spend up to $30 million US to earn 70% of this asset. To give you an idea, the company's got about a $100 million Canadian market cap today. A good example of this was a company called Reservoir Minerals. They were partnered on an asset similar to ours. They had 30%. They sold that 30% for $360 million US after more drilling. So those are the types of multiples that you can get as you get success. So that's one. Two, you want to find companies that have good track records of success. I've just sort of pointed to Eric. Three, strategic investors, guys who have come in, put in their money that have been successful before. Michael Gentili is a great example. He put money into a company called Arizona Metals. It's done really well. Put money in at 20 cents. I think it's trading around $5 now. So he's put his money in here. One other thing that I'll say that for guys who are looking at the space, there's a lot of these sort of investment newsletter writers who aren't, you can't pay them. They just review the company, make a decision if they're going to cover it or not. That's a great way to play the space too, because you can kind of learn about different companies and find ones in the flavor that you like. There's a lot of different guys. Peter Grandich is a good example, et cetera, that cover American Pacific as well. So there's some reasons for American Pacific, but just for a general kind of overview, those are things to look at where you can play your best hand when you're looking at exploration companies.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I'm glad that you perfectly answered my question there. Kind of along the same lines, some of this answer might be similar, but what would a retail investor like most of our audience, what would be the benefit to buying a stock like American Pacific as opposed to just going out and buying gold straight up?
Yeah, great question. So I think again, when you're buying juniors, we'll refer to them as juniors, junior explorers. You're looking for that 10x lift. That's really what you go in looking for. When you're buying physical or you're buying an ETF, you're looking for that. You believe in the commodity and you want to see that slow, steady pace upwards. Look, we'd love to see gold break $2,000 an ounce, maybe get to 2,300, right? That's a nice lift from 1,800, but when you're looking at American Pacific 4 months ago when it was 13, 14 cents and now it's trading at $1. I'm using the Canadian version, but you can convert down to the US. You're getting those large lifts. And that's really where, those are the big gains that people get very excited about. It's risky. It's inherently risky because it's exploration. God either put the gold there or he didn't. and you got to go out and try to make that discovery. So that's the risk. There's no doubt, but that's where you can see these big lifts.
Yeah, I mean, people are giving me some crap in the chat because I actually bought some of this junior miner Harmony yesterday, and it was having a bad day today, down 7%. So I wanted to selfishly, for myself, ask you if you know anything about this company, and if you want to tell me, hey, Aaron, you should probably sell that.
I hate to say this, but I actually don't know them all that well. So it's hard for me to comment. Here's what I will say. It's a terrible day for gold miners. Gold, the commodities was off $30 when I looked this morning. So the whole sector is red, other than American Pacific's been up nicely, which is great.
But that means if it was a good day for gold miners, American Pacific might be up 30% right now,
I did make that comment when I woke up this morning.
So you and I are seeing eye to eye. All right.
Agreed.
We are running out of time here, Warwick. How's your buddy Jay over at Visibility doing?
Jay's fantastic, man. That company's done incredibly well. It's had a really big run since it's been on the show. They're really building out nicely. That partnership with Anheuser-Busch has worked out great for them. They've just announced a deal with Austin. It's called Austin GIS that they're part owner of. HCL is part owner, Tech Mahindra, and another Fortune 500 to be mentioned here shortly. They own 10% of the company, and I believe they said that it's going to do around $28 million in revenue starting from September 15th to the end of this year. So significant revenue coming for them. and coming forward. And so I love that stock. That's a great company.
You gotta talk to Jay. You gotta be able to get some kickback for being able to come on and answer questions like that about a different.
Listen, there better be a nice bottle of wine at the end of that from Jay. I'll be sure to let him know.
He's a great guy, by the way. So I appreciate you making the introduction to him. I really enjoyed talking to him, and you as well, Warwick.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being on. Cheers.
Of course, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Thank you.